Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Natred review. I am Natred, and today we're going to be reviewing a first to 10 from AMT between Aggro and Deamos. They're going to be fighting single sword, and I want to note something really quickly. This video is about 7.5 minutes long. My average recording time for like 3 to 5 minute videos is around 15 to 17 minutes. So we're going to see how fast we can get through this, and if need be, chop it up into some different parts here. But let's adjust the audio and check it out. Oh, and also real quick, I may forget their names and just go by their garb, but we have Aggro in the blue and yellow and Deamos in the white.
Yeah, dead.
Okay, so I'm not going to analyze that shot too much exactly. What I kind of want to look at, though, there's a moment
Yeah, dead.
yeah, something that got pointed out to me by Brett, I believe it was when you have people who do a motion similar to that, where you're chambering up high a couple of times, you're trying to induce somebody and to throw a shot so you can counter strike them. And Brett, when he was fighting against me, told me that that's what he was kind of able to read and why he was able to do as well, like style on me as hard as he did. So I don't know how this is going to go from here on out, but these little like sucks into the body uh, are kind of a telegraph that you're wanting to maybe
Yeah,
be
dead.
interested in some striking.
One aggro.
That's one aggro in the white.
Yeah, dead.
Yep. Good response there, just the block,
Yeah, dead.
strike right around.
One aggro.
I like that shot because he kept his hand in front of him the whole time. Nice natural defensive position. And also offensive because you're able to able to throw again very quickly because your sword's already in front of you, or been kept in front of you. Okay. I like the good footwork on both sides. Clean exchange of blocks and strikes there from pretty far out range. Not out of range, but far range. I like the footwork that both these fighters are using.
Okay.
Very active, not just throwing shots, kind of using their footwork even here to stutter in and out. Play with the range with their footwork. Yeah, it looks like we might be trade dead for dead here.
No. You're in time as well.
Yeah.
Time out.
Time up. Definitely on this.
Okay, cross body, single blue, single sword, single short, whatever they call it in AMP.
Don't think so. Okay.
It did raise.
I caught your belt, I think. Okay.
Please say your name when you win.
Two.
Aggro, one.
Just say your name. I'm counting.
Yep.
Yep, got caught reaching there. Old, I'm not sure how, if you would qualify it as old, but a phrase I've heard before is just you reach, and I teach. And this is a pretty, coming up here, pretty big reach, pretty far extension. And it's not just because it's a big extension forward that I think this gets him tagged. It's also how low he ends up here with his hand position that really opens up this over-the-top shot. Probably a good idea to figure out how to defend your forearm in times, or your sword arm in shots like this. If you're going to go that low, maybe just don't go so low. Maybe use some different footwork.
Dead.
Okay.
Arm.
Okay, comes under the guard there, picks up the offside hand. Then looks like White Tunic here lands a shot to the torso.
Arm. Deamos.
Yeah. I like these leads a whole lot. I don't like where Aggro's footwork ends up after this. These like intentionally whiffing leads, especially if you know you're fighting against somebody who's trying to counter-strike you. These big whiffs can kind of induce them to go ahead and start swinging at you, and then you're fully chambered up, posted, ready to respond to anything that them buying it. Instead, nothing. And what I was talking about, not liking where he ends up. This square position, I don't like that. I think that like it's mechanically poor. Again, I understand like this can be part of a bait. Absolutely, you could have like there's very few things that are strictly good or bad. You know, this isn't bad if it's part of something, part of a plan, and you know it's something that works for you a good percentage of the time. But mechanically, keeping your offside leg and shoulder forward, it's going to square you up a whole lot, especially once you start exchanging, I believe. Switches back though. Same reason why if I think that I'm equal or greater skill level than somebody I fight, I will fight left-handed, which is my weak-handed against them if they're right-handed, to mirror for the same reason, because I'm a big wide target. I don't like being square. I like to be as narrow profile as I can. And so, even cross-handed like this, there's some squaring that happens.
Arm. Deamos. Arm. Deamos.
Yep. Picks up the kill there. I can't think it was either double arm or picks up the body shot. Trying to take a less granular approach to the analysis on this one so we can get through it.
Yep. Deamos.
Again, very active footwork. I love the pace in these fights. Yep, clean little 1-2. Comes over. Elbow. Thigh.
Deamos.
You're fighting in a competitive atmosphere here, so no reason to let them switch over. Treat it just like you treat a tournament, in my opinion. Casual sparring, just for fun, do whatever. But I agree with this. Yep. Good movement there. Good. The good step in sets that up. And I believe I may have remarked on this on another video. But the sword coming up here. Oops, that's the wrong button. The sword coming up hides this step forward. Get to it, get to it. Yeah. Maybe you can see what I'm talking about there. Like, he initiates this top body motion. The sword comes up and back as it's preparing to strike. And so, Aggro here, I believe this is Aggro in the orange and blue, is correctly, like, understanding the exchanges happen, preparing a defense for it. He gets kind of stuck far outside to his right, has to come across. But this could have just been a forearm. The thing that makes this a chest shot is the fact that like this lunge in doesn't get reacted to properly. Aggro is caught here with his feet kind of close together, very close together. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but they look pretty close together. And I don't think he reacts to it properly because, as I mentioned in another video, I think that your brain is going to be primarily focused on somebody's like center of gravity and where it's going, what their feet are doing, and what their weapon is doing. And so we're reading this weapon, our perception gets distracted by some movement, and also just misses, like our perception gets distracted by this chambering motion here. We miss the depth of the step and the danger it like entails. We get tagged in the chest.
Deamos.
Tradesies?
Ammo.
Was it arm? It was arm and butt.
Yeah.
Yes, dead. Arm up into the chest.
Arm up into the chest. Yeah, arm then kind of bounce into the chest.
Yes, dead.
Yeah,
Arm up into the chest.
Go on.
it's always hard to say something's bad when it gets the W, but
Aggro.
I'm not a huge fan of high crossing
Okay, sign up.
Time out.
in the single matchup. But it's hard to argue with results. Yeah, good honor. They get the arm, really? I don't know if I might have called that. Nope, absolutely. Almost gets it just right. Almost gets this angle just right. Even has his wrist turned out. It's just some stellar footwork here.
Skill 4-3.
Yep, a little bit of level change, a little bit of lean in. I don't know if it's call it body work if you want to, but, you know, that shot wouldn't have hit if he was just a couple inches back.
Yes.
Yep, then lands behind the wrist. And, like, our fighter on the right here in the white had good responses as far as his motion goes, but just didn't quite read the flexibility, the reach, the lunge distance, the mobility of our fighter here on the left.
Dead.
Almost just gets the clean kill here. Yeah, it looks like this just sails just under and misses. One of those points where it almost feels like you hit a narrower area by missing than just if you had actually hit them. Into the high cross. Comes through. Looks like it might tag the hip there.
Dead.
Yeah. Lower stomach. Yeah, hip, yeah.
Aggro.
Thank you.
Aggro is our fighter on the left. Deamos is our fighter on the right.
Oh no, arm.
Just bad about names.
Deamos.
High cross. Brings it back. And so I think this is the second time now where Aggro's guard has just been a little bit too far outside of his frame. And Deamos has been pretty easy. It's been pretty easy for him to set up this pop across or high cross into this, like, come around his head in this big circle motion for the chest. I think ways to correct this. See how this hand comes back and caves to catch the block, then can't get over in time. We kind of have to, like, back up quite a ways. But it's this shot being so low, then this guard caving back to catch the block in time, instead of coming up more vertical, staying a little bit further in front. That leads to the hand being way too far out of frame and coming over. So things that could probably change the outcome of this: not extending so far for this leg shot, not caving so far back and so far outside of your frame. Like, he looks like he's outside his right nipple here. And that will give you the speed to get across and stick this block. We have a pretty good responding motion with his striking hand coming across to try to block and strike in one motion. It's just out of time. Doesn't have time to get there.
Yeah, got it. Deamos.
Thank you.
Arm.
Arm for an arm.
Yes, sign up.
High crossing again. And might have not needed to, have to probably didn't need to trade here if we had just not thrown this high cross. Yeah, just instead staying low, staying in a mid guard and chopping to the forearm. But instead, you end up really, really high here. Your arm's way up high. It's not really in a position to protect. When you could have just stayed like in a pretty medium height guard and picked up the forearm here, perhaps. Back for arm, it looks like. Also worth noting, we're at 15 minutes on the about 16 minutes on the video time right now. This is a long one though. I looked at the score, and this is a 1st to 10 that goes all the way to 10-9 as the final score.
Yeah. No. Yours it barely touched. I barely touched. You sure? Yeah. No resistance.
We like some minor contact, agreed. Water.
Deamos.
Yep. More high crosses coming in here. Again, you're a little bit taller than the other fighter. The other fighter's guard keeps going kind of low. And so while I would tell you that high crosses are probably mechanically bad shots, situationally here, they get more legs. And especially because this shot is building off of a demonstrated pattern that worked before. This exact same high cross, pop, pop, just worked. Got what? Sword's so fast. Arm, okay, just call him arm there.
6-7.
6 to 7.
Excuse me, so sorry.
Oh, fuck you. Nice shot. Oh, fuck you. Nice shot.
Fuck you, nice shot. Flips under. Hits the tournament block here.
Oh.
Not quite doing what it's supposed to. And now this is maybe where you might risk a leg.
Yeah. I should have pulled it back. I should have let it ride.
Yeah, agreed.
Aggro.
I think whenever you end up an arm up against somebody in single, this might be time where going for that longer reach for a leg shot might work. Because you may just have the option to trade your arm for their leg, get a kill. Almost hits the arm here. Worth noting, even if he did, this shot would be in time, I believe.
Yeah. I should have pulled it back. I should have let it ride. Aggro.
7-7.
Dead. Aggro. Sorry.
Kind of some squareness here, maybe, that I was talking about earlier when it comes to not wanting, like when I try to mirror with my handage as much as I can. Pretty square with the hips and shoulders and presented here, and that gets the chest picked up. Sword also just takes a bad path here. Rebounds, ends up low, and kind of stays low. Got to get used to snapping back into that good neutral projected guard. Got to be careful about squaring your hips and shoulders.
Deamos.
Yep, looks like he tags out the chest
Deamos.
there. It's a pretty strong sounding shot here from Deamos. Pretty good amount of force on that shot, it looks like. And there's just this habit that I've seen repeated by Deamos pretty consistently so far here. Of like, even when so no engagement is happening, look at how far outside and retracted this guard is. It's kind of out over here. probably want to push that out further, especially if you prefer being outside of your frame and your single guard. But even then, he throws a good strong shot, but he retracts and resets, curled up and kind of outside. Allows Deamos here to pretty much just crush in. There's no tip of the sword he has to kind of cover. There's no, like, naturally threatened area he has to get through. Again, arm pretty curled into the chest here, like from the side. Arm's pretty, like, curled into the chest here. Probably want to be a bit more projected out.
And arm dead. Arm and the second arm. Oh, okay.
Simon?
Yeah.
Simo, but again, I don't think this needed to be. Notes for both sides here. Square here, pretty squared out from aggro. Don't really like seeing that. Just real kind of awkward body positioning. Being square and being leaned down here. And then I also, oops, didn't mean to back up there. But there's also no reason to reach for the high cross here in this position. Like, you might be able to reach far enough to hit him in the back, but you're probably going to get killed also. But instead, we could just keep a neutral guard, not do such a big lunge in, and just tag a forearm and a leg, or double tap a forearm here. Just a lot of commitment when there doesn't need to be on the right side, and a lot of squaring up and, like, lowering that doesn't need to be happening, in my opinion, on the left side. Good to go there, don't want to stay there. One of my biggest problems being such an overweight dude is level changing down really quickly, then struggling to come back up. That stab not get there, maybe? Looks like the stab might miss. Yeah.
What's the score? 9-7?
Oh yeah, forearm, forearm.
It did just won. It's 9-8. His favorite.
9-8 aggro.
Arm.
9 aggro.
Arm.
That pick up the kill here? Yep, again, good, or I shouldn't know what I'm saying again this time. But a good top quadrant shots from Deamos here. And kind of just seeing a repeat of the same symptoms out of aggro. Throwing this strong opening shot. Hand ends up down and low. Sword kind of curled to the outside. Gives us timing for Deamos to come in nice and high.
9-9.
Match point.
Arm.
It's 9-9 match
Yeah.
point.
No. Mine was not in time. You got arm, then I fire. Okay. Dead. You were first. Sure? Yes. Boom, and I turn.
9-10.
Dead.
Watch this last exchange here. I like the pump fake, offset to the left side. Come back. Deamos goes far outside, left arm. Good straight response back, and then comes up, picks up the arm there for the double limb kill.
You were first.
Yeah, good first to 10. Both these guys, you can tell by their scores and also just how they were fighting. Very even in skill level. Here are the fellas again. Final scores. But yeah, this is Ferrix. I got this from Raven's Discord, so check that out if you haven't already, and subscribe to Ferrix if you haven't already. And thank you so much.